Now, to your question about housing, which is the third issue. We are in a situation where we are one of the only countries in the world who allow foreign investors, people who have money but no interest in our country other than economic interest, to come and buy our lands, to speculate on our land, to make money off our land. And this is why the property prices have gone through the roof. So, and it's not just foreigners doing it either, it's also New Zealanders doing it. They have found the cash cow, which is, what do they always say? The hardest million to make is the first million. After that, it's easy as pie. So what's happened is people who have already made their first million are making the next 10 million by buying houses, leaving them empty, sitting on them. We have 30,000 empty houses in Auckland. 30,000. Why do you think they're sitting empty? Houses are for people to live in, they're for putting roofs over our head. They're sitting empty because they are playing monopoly on the property market. They are leaving them empty until they can flick them off for another couple $100,000. So what's happening is people who need houses to have a roof over their head, to have a future for themselves and their family, do not have access to those houses because they are not multimillionaires, they're not property speculators, they can't compete, they can't get into the market. So we have created a policy, which I'm not supposed to be doing the announcement for yet because there's not time for it, but our policy is called No More Empty Houses. And the purpose, no more empty houses.
No more empty houses.
We will not tolerate 30,000 empty houses and 30,000 homeless people. That is not common sense. Common sense is put the people in the houses, let them have a roof over their head first, before you go trying to make money out of the houses. So here's what we want to do. This is a policy that is not going to require a single dollar of tax money. So all of these people who wins are putting in motels for $2,000 a week.
Wow.
$2,000 a week.
Wow.
What we do is we say, Kiwis and non-Kiwis, if you own a property and your property is empty, and you are not going to sign and say that this property will be sold in the next 30 days, you are going to rent that property. You're going to rent it at market rates. The government is we're going to develop a mobile app, actually, an application to match these landowners, these property owners, with suitable vetted tenants that have been vetted by WINS, that WINS is already paying $2,000 a week to put in a motel. WINS will pay you $700, $800 a week to have those tenants in your house. WINS can also now afford to have commercial cleaners come in once a week and make sure that your property is spick and span, because WINS has got $1,200 to spare that they now don't have to pay to a motel. And we are going to put those people into the homes. And so that's it. So you want to speculate on property, you're going to have tenants. You're not going to leave that home sitting empty because you want to make $1 million on it. You're going to have tenants. Congratulations, you're now a landlord. We will not apply this to second homes of private families. We will not apply it to batches. We will apply it to property developers, to property speculators, to property investments, to people who have 3, 10, 20, 30, 100 houses. Those are the ones that we're going after. Now, they can't complain because they're actually going to end up with more money than they would have had anyway. Because now they can still sell their property whenever they want to sell it. They can still give 30 days notice and sell the property and make their money on it. But in the meantime, they'll be collecting the rent money as well. And the government will guarantee that the house will be commercially cleaned and presentable for sale. So it is win-win. The homeowners get more money than they would have otherwise. The tenants aren't stuck 6 people in one motel room. They now actually have a property to live in. And every New Zealander will win because the rental price will come down, the market will come down. Because as soon as you have people in those empty houses, it's going to bring the market rates of rentals down. So, and it will do it slowly over time. It won't just drop and fall through the floor. So this is how we're going to help to make housing more accessible. This is how we will cool off the property market. This is how we will stop the epidemic levels of homelessness that, I mean, we've got people, mother working minimum wage job, father working minimum wage job, can't pay $800 a week rent on 2 minimum wage jobs. So we give them back a home, We have somewhere for their family. The property owners get more money than they would have had otherwise. And the government isn't paying $2,000 a week to house these people. So, and the property market cools down. So it's win-win on all fronts. And that is that's the policy. I shouldn't have been telling you guys the details of now, but hey, you're smart enough to check out our live stream, so you're hearing some stuff before it goes to press. But that's our housing policy, and I think it's a really, really overdue one. And the other thing is, another reason this has come about is because all of the other parties think the solution is building. And how are they going to build? They're going to, all our reserves, our parks, when you hear the government talking about reserve land, people don't really know what reserve land means, right? I'll tell you what reserve land means. It means your park in your suburb where your kids go and play. That's reserve land. Where your playground is, where your where your rugby field is, where you go and kick a ball around every afternoon, where you send your kids down and say, come back at dinner time. That is the reserve land that they want to take and build houses on. And when they take that land and they build houses on it, who are they going to sell it? Who's going to buy those houses? Stop and think for a minute. Who is going to buy those houses? I'll tell you who's going to buy those houses. The same people who have got 30,000 empty houses in Auckland already are going to go and buy those houses and want to make another $1 million on them. So do you want to lose your parks and your recreation space that we all grew up with, that we all took for granted? Do you want that sold to the same people that created the problem, which is why we even have to build more houses, or why we're told we have to build more houses? And that's not even, aside from the fact that there are not enough builders and plumbers in New Zealand to even build these houses. So, and then you add in the council consent process and everything, and now you're talking about a year to build these houses or 18 months to build these houses so that they can end up in the same hands as the people that have caused this problem in the first place. Nuh-uh, does not make sense.